Happening now, we're hearing more from a Chautauqua County school district accused of locking kids in an isolation room at their elementary. And our state senator is calling out New York's budget process. This as lawmakers work to pass the now overdue spending plan. Plus, a local candidate for state senate hits a roadblock. We hear from him as he weighs his options about the future of his public service.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Police are investigating a shooting at Erie, Pennsylvania's high school that injured one person this morning. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould, and we start with breaking news. Officers were called to a shooting victim just before 9:30 in the morning Tuesday. One person was shot, according to Erie police, and is in good condition. They have since been taken to a regional hospital. The shooting suspect, as of our broadcast time, is not in custody, school officials told our news partner Erie News Now. The building was on lockdown during the incident, but as of now, police say that scene is secured and safe. A student who was getting help from a teacher with an assignment told Erie News Now he heard gunshots ring out.
And then all you hear is shots go off, and my teacher went to the door. He looked out the door, and then he just tell everybody to jump out the window, try to take cover behind his desk, and then we just jumped out his window.
So you jumped out the window?
Yes.
You were in a first floor classroom, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Now, Erie's public school said it would start dismissing students by classroom. Parents are being asked to report to the back parking lot as directed to the dismissal area. Buses are also on site to take kids home. We'll, of course, continue to provide updates on this breaking news story as we get them at WNYNewsNow.com.
Well, it's another nice day weather-wise as you take a live look at the Mayville Skycam. You can see lots of sunshine out there right now, and the satellite and radar picture basically shows that to you across the region. The clouds are, actually we have a little streamer of lake effect clouds that kind of formed over the lake and moving up north. Isn't that interesting for you? Science for you. So, and it's going to be a nice day today. 42 was the high yesterday, started the day at 35, 77, and 2 are the records for today. So through the afternoon, a good supply of sunshine. It's going to mix with clouds. A warmer day with a light wind, 57 to 64, but we do have some rain to go through for the middle of the week. We will time it all out with FutureScan and that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, so stay with us, Justin.
All right, Dakota, thanks. We'll see you back in a bit. On to our top story today. A Chautauqua County school accused of using an isolation room as a form of punishment towards student outbursts is responding, calling the allegations made utterly false. Last week, Jay Hall, assistant principal at Silver Creek Elementary School, published his concerns in a letter to the district's Board of Education, which was later posted online. The district, too, has an ongoing investigation into allegations that they inhumanely and illegally locked or barricaded students in an isolation cell within the school, says the claims are far from the truth. Superintendent Todd Crandall confirmed the use of a de-escalation room, but not to the extent outlined by Hall's concerns. He goes on to say that the method is widely accepted in New York State, addressing the need of children who simply require some time to gather their thoughts in a quiet place before returning to class.
It is by no means intended, nor has it ever been used as a form of punishment or negative implication. The New York State Education Department authorizes the use of such rooms in its regulations.
Now, during a town hall-style meeting last Thursday, several parents came forward claiming their child was locked up in that room, an act the superintendent denies. The school, Crandall says, has since stopped using the room. In addition, they've released images of the room itself. Officials say their investigation into the matter continues. 2 people were arrested after allegedly vandalizing a Jamestown bar on Monday, causing over $15,000 in damages. Jamestown police responded to Dugan's Tavern at 114 East 2nd Street for a reported burglary in progress around 9:30 last night. Officers forced entry into the rear of the building and say they located 25-year-old Trisha Kaiser and 34-year-old Dakota Cottonbach inside. It's alleged the two caused $15,800 in damages to the interior of the establishment. Both were charged with burglary, criminal mischief, and criminal possession of a controlled substance. Officers say they were held in Jamestown City Jail pending arraignment in the case. And a local candidate running his campaign on restoring hope to Western New York hit a major bump in the road last week, with the state and county Democratic committees deciding to not endorse his effort. Our Julia Grass with an update in this election 2022 race.
Their response was, we're looking for something else. We want something more democratic. You're too young, you're too inexperienced, and we don't feel comfortable endorsing you.
Brady McElhaney, who was running for New York's new 58th District Senate seat, continued that the Democratic Party has no other candidate at this time.
My argument was that if you were to ask 100 people in this district, have you ever been elected to office? Have you ever gone to law school? Have you ever ran your own business? A majority of them are going to say no. That is not the type of leadership these people are really looking for.
According to the candidate, the Democratic Party wanted him to have more traditional progressive talking points instead of the moderate approach he took. He also believes the party could use a change in leadership, as its chaotic nature will not allow for positive change.
I see a committee that's rebuilding. I see a committee that's in shambles. And if we can't get our own stuff together as a party, then we really aren't going to see any progress here in this district.
In a previous interview with WNY News Now, the Democrat explained that he hoped to achieve common-sense solutions, regardless of political party, to be the voice of the working class in Albany. McElhaney had plans to combat population decline and the drug crisis in the area with his fresh perspective. Though McElhaney's race is over, he assures the community that he will remain an active member where he is called on to do so. In the meantime, he plans on returning to teaching preschool and pursuing his college degree. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Negotiations on New York's overdue budget continued behind closed doors Monday, a process State Senator George Borrello is calling out. Borrello spoke with us, telling us that lawmakers shouldn't be discussing policy in the budget, but rather focusing on pure financials for the state. Changes to the state's bail system, child care subsidies, and other policies are being discussed by leaders as part of the roughly $216 billion budget. For Borrello, all eyes are on reforming bail reform, a point he says is long overdue.
Probably the biggest sticking point is bail reform, and it has nothing to do with the budget. This is something that should be done outside the budget. But, Kathy Hochul knows that they will never be able to get anything changed if they actually had to discuss and debate out in the open in front of the public.
Now, since Friday's deadline to pass the budget, lawmakers approved a stopgap bill to help keep the government funded while talks continue. Leaders in the Democratic caucus are cautiously optimistic that bills for a spending plan could be considered by the legislature on Thursday. As WNY News Now continues, a look at the renewed push demanding justice for child sex abuse victims, plus new details on the public education campaign launched by New York to help break down stigmas of cannabis. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area, hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to youth. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Officials in Pennsylvania have released the names of 3 children and their grandmother who died during a tragic house fire on Friday. Crawford County Coroner Scott Schrell provided the update on the Springboro Pa Fire. 65-year-old Hilda Inbenhart, her grandsons 14-year-old William Robson, 10-year-old Matthew Robson, and great-granddaughter Destiny Robson, who was only 6 months old, all perished in the blaze. During the firefight, crews weren't certain how many people were trapped inside that home. According to one of the Pennsylvania State Police fire marshals investigating, it appears that flames started in a first-floor laundry room area located right by a stairwell to the second floor where the children were trapped. Troopers also said that wiring in that home was not up to code. A family member told investigators that the breakers sometimes would trip if the washer and dryer were running at the same time. The dryer was reportedly in use that night, and one family member who escaped said they saw flames in that area. So far, there's no word on funeral plans or which funeral home would handle the arrangements. New York State Police will participate in a national crackdown on distracted driving as part of April's National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. The enforcement effort, called Operation Hang Up, will include increased patrols and checkpoints targeting drivers using electronic devices. Troopers will be using both marked state police vehicles and concealed identity cards to identify drivers who are using their phones. To help prevent tragedies, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration recommends that you pull over to a safe location if you plan to send a text. Also, if you have passengers, designate one of them to handle incoming texts and calls. According to officials, a little more than 31,000 people were killed in the U.S. in affected crashes in 2020. New York State has launched its first public health education campaign on Monday in order to educate more residents about marijuana. According to Governor Kathy Hochul and the Office of Cannabis Management, the initiative titled Cannabis Conversations plans to destigmatize the substance. It will also focus on public health by explaining the benefits and risks of cannabis use, such as who can consume, where to consume, and how to consume safely. The campaign started Monday and will continue for approximately 3 months, with advertisements airing on television, radio, public transit, billboards, and social media. New York legalized marijuana in 2021 for adults 21 and older. Well, in Pennsylvania, victims of childhood sexual abuse and advocates are still fighting for a retroactive 2-year window to file civil lawsuits against their abusers. State Capitol correspondent Brendan Scanlon has been following the legislation and the advocacy efforts for several months now.
Senator Corman, Majority Leader Ward, we will never go away.
This morning, State Representative Mark Rozzi pointed the finger at Senate leadership for their inability to pass his legislation that would suspend the civil statute of limitations in cases of child sex abuse, or House Bill 951.
Create a 2-year window for child sex abuse victims who could not file lawsuits before.
In April of 2021, the House passed the bill with a final vote of 149 to 52. The bill was then sent to the Senate Judiciary Committee, where it was approved in an 11-3 bipartisan vote.
And since then, it has been stalled.
Last year, a proposed constitutional amendment would have retroactively let victims file civil actions against their abusers. However, in February 2021, the Department of State made a critical error by failing to advertise the amendment, and it was never placed on the ballot.
That error caused a heartbreaking delay for thousands of survivors, and I am personally sorry for the pain it caused for so many.
Yes, the Department of State failed, but that shouldn't be an excuse to not act.
Attorney General Josh Shapiro says there's been a global reckoning, and legislation needs to be passed now.
Even the Pope himself acknowledged the truth of what was contained in that grand jury report.
Advocates say the bill would also expose hidden predators.
No other state has more information about the workings of child sex abuse cover-ups than the state of Pennsylvania.
And victim advocates like Sean Doherty are growing tired.
Survivors should not have to go through the psychological torture of these political battles. We are all tired.
In Harrisburg, Brendan Scanlon reporting.
Brendan, thank you. Officials say it boils down to providing this window either through legislation or constitutional amendments. Lawmakers believe the best way forward is with a constitutional amendment because the GOP says the bill is unconstitutional. Coming up, the latest in the Russian-Ukraine conflict, how the U.S. now getting involved in investigating war crimes there. And later, the new probe into the CDC now underway. But first, when we return, a look at our full weather forecast. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And once again, wanted to mention it again, Storm Spotter training comes up tomorrow from the National Weather Service at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. And of course, it is free to attend. Anybody can be Storm Spotter trained from 1 to 100. And, it's the same thing we talked about yesterday. Storm spotters are important because it's only spotters that see down at the ground. Remember, radar looks above the ground, so we can't tell what's happening down at ground level by looking at radar. So again, it's free to attend. To register for the session tomorrow, you can go to weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn. Just click on the date you want to register for, and then you are registered to become Skywarn trained, and we highly recommend it. Hey, it's a nice day out there from the HD News Now can. A pair of fives. News Now can? News Now cam. 55 with a 7. Yeah, can, whatever. So it's an overall nice day. Hey, first time this season we broke out the golf forecast, so today would be a nice to hit the links, or if you're like me, shank a few into the water. 60, we're going to be right around the lower 60s through the day today, but clouds are going to thicken up through the later part of the afternoon with overall light winds. But take a look at these temperatures over the next 5 days. It's actually going to be an overall nice day today, so take a look at 60s through the next couple of days. We're down to the 40s, the 50s for Thursday, 40s by Friday, and by Saturday, we're going to struggle to hit 40 degrees around here by the weekend. And yeah, but it's early spring. So we have a low pressure area attached to a front, but notice all this rain down to the south. This is going to be moving through the overnight hours and through tomorrow. Look at all this nasty thunderstorms down across the deep south here. Look at all the lightning strikes here over what? 1,000 lightning strikes on the latest scan there. There's a tornado watch out. That's the yellow box, and a couple of tornado warnings out for Alabama as well. So back here today, really no severe weather, but notice how the clouds thicken up through the later part of the afternoon. Then this is the rain that comes out of the south with that front. This is going to arrive through the overnight hours and then through early tomorrow. We are going to see a little bit of a break in the rain coverage tomorrow. Then scattered showers arrive for the afternoon, but it does look like much of the day will be dry. The later part of the afternoon, we get into this mass of rain and maybe a couple thunderstorms to go along with that as well, but no severe weather will be expected out of that. In terms of rainfall over the next couple of days, we could be looking at about a ½ inch to at least 1 1/4 inches worth of rainfall, at least over the next couple of days. So it's not all going to come at once. So that's the good news. So the future is up on the screen, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So you can see the rain showers over the next few days. And then by the time we go into the weekend, it turns colder with a few snow showers. It looks like a few light snow showers on Sunday. And then temperatures return back into the 60s, Justin, for early next week.
All right. Keep that spring air coming, Dakota. Thanks. The U.S. is supporting a multinational team to collect and analyze evidence of alleged atrocities in Ukraine. A State Department spokesperson made that announcement yesterday.
Right now, we are supporting a multinational team of international experts and other war crimes experts deployed to the region. This interdisciplinary team includes American experts and is directly supporting efforts of Ukraine's Prosecutor General War Crimes Unit, an effort that entails collecting, preserving, analyzing evidence of atrocities with a view towards pursuing criminal accountability.
Meanwhile, the White House says they've seen atrocities and war crimes, but they have not seen evidence of systemic killings that rise to the level of genocide. A White House spokesperson said the U.S. will continue to monitor evidence and events in Ukraine as they unfold. Well, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is poised to be confirmed this week as the first black woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. That after the Senate voted Monday 53-47 to advance her nomination. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer had to call that vote to break a deadlock because the Judiciary Committee voted 11-11 on advancing the nomination. In the full floor vote, every Senate Democrat voted to advance Jackson's nomination, as did Republican Senator Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, and Lisa Murkowski. Jackson's final confirmation vote will be later this week. Monday's deadlock in the Senate Judiciary Committee was a rare occasion for a Supreme Court nomination. But nomination battles have become largely contentious, and the current split in the Senate is 50-50. However, in addition to supporting advancing Jackson's nomination, Senator Murkowski and Romney have said they will also vote to confirm her. Well, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is now under scrutiny. A month-long sweeping review of the agency is set to begin next week. The director says it could result in restructuring. That news comes the same day the announcement of a bipartisan plan for COVID-19 relief. Amy Kelly reports on the funding bill, which would not send any money directly to the CDC.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is used to scrutinizing science. Now the agency itself is under the microscope. Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says the Department of Health will conduct a sweeping review starting next Monday. In a memo to staff, Walensky says it's to improve how the agency communicates with the public and consider a restructuring. That news comes the same day as a bipartisan deal Senator Mitt Romney helped negotiate for his chamber. It's for $10 billion of COVID relief money. The measure would fund therapeutics like oral antiviral pills, and it would support vaccines, testing, and research. What it would not do is send money directly to the CDC. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants to vote on the measure this week.
On COVID, very briefly, over the last few days, my Democratic colleagues and I continued talks with Senator Romney and Republicans, working all hours of the night and into the weekend.
This is clearly a huge focus for the president because of the dire need we have at this moment to get this funding through.
The White House says it would like more money in the plan.
Even as we're very encouraged by the progress, we're going to need more because our objective here is to make sure we can have funding for antivirals, the vaccines needed for people for many months to come.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
As the weather warms up, you may find yourself working in the yard more. Gardening can be great for your health as you get outside and moving, but if you aren't careful, it can also hurt your back. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither reports on some good body mechanics to help lower your risk of injury.
Gardening is good for your body and mind.
It's great exercise, and that combined with the fact that we're out in the sun, which stimulates vitamin D, provides excellent osteoporosis prevention.
But if you aren't careful, gardening can take a toll on your body. That's why it's important to pay attention to the way you work in the yard, says Dr. Deborah Benzel, a neurosurgeon at Cleveland Clinic.
Equipment is absolutely key. If you're trying to dig something out and your shovel or your spade is not sharp, that's going to put a lot more stress on your body.
Benzel recommends a kneeling bench or seat while weeding or prolonged planting, especially if you're older. The closer your plants and equipment are to you, the less stress on your body. She says to also lift with your legs, not your back, and use a wheelbarrow to help carry heavy loads. She says bending over is the worst thing you can do while gardening.
If you're going to do that, you have to make sure that you straighten your body on a very regular basis, because keeping it in that flex position for a long time is really bad for you.
And remember to stretch before and after.
That has tremendous benefit in relieving that discomfort that many of us feel after we've put our backs in positions for too long.
Finally, take frequent breaks and don't try to garden your entire yard all at once. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, Mandy, thank you. Yeah, I think important tips for sure. And so many of us are trying to get out there and break this winter habit. Because I feel like, at least for me, Dakota, I sit all day. Mm-hmm. Even when I get out and go to stories and things, I still find myself sitting. And it's like, no, let's move, let's get up. But you got to be careful when you do that, because if you're a dinosaur, something's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep, especially when you're old. You know, things just go creak and... It's just, you know,
it doesn't bend that way.
Tell me about it.
Let us know what you think about this at WNY News Now on social media. Thanks for joining us today. That's going to do it for this half hour of news. Of course, stay connected all the time at WNYNewsNow.com and on our free mobile app. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great day. See you back here tomorrow.